I know I have received so many questions about hormones, about menopause, about aging, my supplement routine, my activity routine, my eating routine. I'm 75 in just a couple of weeks.
Yes, and I'm 75. I've already been there a couple of weeks since February 1st, so I've always been a little older than you, right?
Just about 8 months.
Since we were in high school.
Yes, yes. So a little background. This is Nan, and we have been best friends for 60 plus years.
Yes, yeah, about that.
Yeah, it almost makes me cry.
Yeah, woohoo.
Yeah, yeah, because it's so wonderful.
Absolutely.
And Nan is the right arm of her husband, who is a physician and a licensed pharmacist. And I have been coming to them since I had my hysterectomy in my early 50s, because everything changed literally overnight.
Right.
So that's been, 25 years. So first of all, let's talk about Nan, the kind of doctor, physician that someone needs to go to who is interested in bioidentical hormone replacement, looking at their health after they're 40 or 50. What kind of doctor?
When we first started out, Fred had his PhD in pharmacology. He loved it so much, and he transferred over to the medical school at MUSC. First person. There were only 3 that had done that. And he, over the years, had developed such a love for health and fitness, and started realizing that maybe a lot of his patients didn't need all these medications, and that we could try a different form of health by eating correctly and exercising. We started seeing results, and then we started sharing it with people, such as you as well, back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way through, and got really good results, which doesn't mean you don't need medications at times. Some people definitely do, but you don't start there. What you do is you start with finding out where your deficiencies might be at an early age. Like if you'd had the hysterectomy, you'd have certain hormones that might have been out of control, and some that were too low, some were too high, and some vitamins and nutrients. And that type of a doctor is called a functional. Now, way back when, they called it an anti-aging doctor. And then that got a bad name because everyone thought that meant you're getting just Botox. No, what that meant is trying to have the life that you have to live as wonderful and as productive to maintain your mobility, your eyesight, your brain function. And those are the important things, and be able to sleep well and to have a wonderful mood. Well, golly, isn't that our goal? So by doing that type of anti-aging, it became regenerative. And then that was nice for a while. We had that on our sign, but then that kind of lost its touch. This is all just words, just words. Now it is functional.
So tell them, you want to know where you can find a functional medicine physician. Where would they go?
Well, we started about 30 years ago with A4M, American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, and that's rather the gold standard for learning how to do this. Doctors, professionals, nurses, pharmacists, and they go and learn about a different way of approaching your health in the beginning. And like I said, doesn't mean that it's going to cure your diabetes, but if you're diabetic, a type 3 diabetic, because you're 50 pounds overweight and you have too much body fat and inactivity, well, yeah, you can cure it, because it wasn't a disease that was inherited. It was a disease that you incorporated by our lifestyle. So it's modifying your lifestyle, which you have done all along, and I have done all along, all these years. We've done it together. It's been so much fun. We've shared things. We've sat on the beach when our children were
Babies,
infants,
yes.
and you would bring me a peanut butter sandwich that had organic bread, and we talked about health and fitness, and we'd walk when we were pregnant as cows. Hey, we've done it.
Right.
And it was our goal. We didn't really know what we were doing, but we were doing it.
That's right. So we are focusing today on lifestyle, food, and then how do you know what's going on in your body?
Right.
So once a year with functional medicine, I get a blood panel. Tell them what that incorporates.
A blood panel, very different. Everyone says, oh, my doctor did that. I go, no, he did not. He did a CBC that said you had no infection, and then he did a cholesterol and told you if it was high or low. But what about your B vitamins, your folate? And if they check those, then they might say they're okay, and your D3, which is very important. We're not talking about okay. It's like a gas tank. I always say, if the red light is not on, you're not empty. Oh, if your hormones are not empty, you're okay. No, you're saying, what can I do to fill the tank? And if I fill the tank, will that hurt me? No, it won't hurt you. If you take too many of the water-soluble vitamins, you're going to urinate them out. So what you want to know is how much and what is the gauge. And that's what we did with you, to see your B vitamins and your folate and your D and your hormones and other little markers that we get to check.
And I have a very big file here. In 2023, I got my results back, and Nan consulted with me, and I had some deficiencies, yes. And those were, you want to share what some of those were, Nan?
And we're just tweaking with Alice, because she's always taken such wonderful care of herself. But her iron was low, and it should be around 120, and it was a little on the low end. Her B12 was on the lower end, and if the B is low, rather than doing a $2,000 panel to tell you all the Bs are low, more than likely the others are going to be a little low too. And folate is a B vitamin. It was 15. It should be a 25. Well, why not optimize it? If you can. Why not? When we put a gasoline in the car, and we say we're going to, what do they call it? Tip the top it off. Let's top it off. Let's not optimize it. And I've asked my husband many times, why is it that we've learned where to optimize? Is this something that we've found over the years, or what? And the answer is we're getting data in all the time, and we're seeing that if you have these levels, it seems to optimize your health. Your D3 was 80, the goal is 90. Well, why not increase it one day a week? I mean, why not? Cortisol, which is always your issue because you're an overachiever, you work yourself to the ground. I can remember 10 years ago after Christmas, you came in, you were having all these sinus issues, you were exhausted, you had just been super uber mom to the entire universe, feeding the family, all the people in, out, in, out, in, out. Oh, Christmas decorations, perfect, and then a New Year's party, and you were busted.
Busted, cortisol busted.
And this is always the dog that chases you,
Yes.
and it has started chasing me as well. And cortisol should be 11 to 14 in the morning. Yours was a 6.8. I've seen it lower than that. I've seen it bottomed out at 3 and 4, and that means you better get your act together, sleeping, rest. You can get the book that talks about all the things that we do for the healing, and they're things your mother told you. Get more sleep. For heaven's sakes, turn your oven off and go for a trip down the street and go shopping and do things that make you happy and build up your cortisol. Lots of sleep.
Self-care too. There is nothing wrong with self-care.
No way. As I speak with my braces, because I take all my stress out of my mouth. So I told my orthodontist, put them back on for the 3rd time. I said I'm so calm on the outside, but I'm grinding and I'm tipping and I'm biting and I'm doing all the weird things that we do that affect our mouths. Your DHEA was 76. That affects a lot of your allergies. It should be 150. So we tweaked all of these with little tiny things to change, and hormones were looking good. If you're doing transdermal cream hormones, the only way you can accurately check is through saliva. Remember that. So
that was last year, 2023, yes. And I very vigilantly,
Nan
tells me to do something. When I go to a doctor, I listen to experts. And when they tell me to do something, I'm like a dog.
You do it.
I do it. So I had my blood retested in May of 24, and here we go. So all of those areas that she identified from last May were within the normal range this May.
That's it.
Yes.
Even when you were deficient, they were in the normal range. The light was not on in your car, your gas tank is not empty, but why not optimize? There's where people are really getting thrown off. They'll say, my doctor said the level was good. I go, no, it's not good. It is almost the red light on, but it is in the range of normal. You want it optimal. That is the word, optimizing. So you had done everything you should, you upped everything a little tiny bit that needed to be, and the most significant, amazing thing is she started doing a lot of resistance work and exercising, and your weight is down, your body fat is down, and here's something that is absolutely phenomenal.
Where is that?
Your body composition 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, we have it from 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Your 10 years ago body composition is almost the same as it is today, except you need to knock off probably about 4 more pounds.
I gotta lose 4 more pounds. And I will, and that's so hard to do, but I will do it.
And this is when women will say to me, oh, but she looks so yeah, of course she does, but I'm talking about optimizing her health. That's what we want. A woman who has a body fat of about 30% is going to live longer. And if you can knock that sucker down to 25, well, girl, if you can do that with some good exercise and body composition, you're probably not going to burn your knees out and your joints, and you will be more healthy. So why not?
So that's the goal. It's not weight loss just because you want to fit into a size 4 or 6. No, it's weight loss because I am striving to optimize my longevity. I want to live 20 or 25 more years, and
yes,
we're
going to travel.
And what I want to do is I want those to be healthy years.
And you know what? Not everyone is the same. Here's an example. Your fat-free mass. I always say this is kind of like if we boiled you like a chicken and removed every bit of fat from it, and all we had were lean tissues and bones and your hair and skin. Your fat-free lean mass is 94.6 pounds.
What's that mean?
That means that is the lean mass. Every bit of fat, even the fat that is in your brain, has a different impedance through the electricity of this little machine. So your fat-free lean mass is a 94.6. Amazingly, 10 years ago, it was 95. You have stayed the same. What does that mean? The average woman our age loses 10 pounds of bone and muscle mass. You hear it every day. You have not. Why? Optimization of hormones, vitamins, nutrients, and weight-bearing exercise.
Absolutely.
You have done 10 years. Wow. So when I look back, but here's the caveat. Not all women are the same. Your fat-free mass is a 94.6. You've only lost 0.4% of lean fat-free mass
in 10 years,
which is phenomenal.
Really good. Yeah.
Now here is the caveat. My fat-free mass is 108. So I have bigger bones, as you can see, shoulders, chest, everything, and yet my body fat is like yours. We keep but we're not the same. You will weigh a different thing, perhaps. So this explains, like when I was in college, and my roommate weighed 116 and I weighed 129. I thought, we wear the same size clothes, we look the same. Why is that? Why can't I weigh? Because my fat-free lean mass, my bones were thicker than hers and bigger than hers, and mine are bigger than yours too. And that's simple. Hold up your little hand, hold it, and if you look at the difference in my fingers are about a fourth
of an inch.
And then feel your little tiny wrist, and then feel mine. You can see a different density. What size shoe do you wear?
A 7.5.
I wear 8.5. See the difference?
Yes.
So we have to take that into consideration. We have women coming in here, their fat-free mass is 125 pounds, and I go, girl, you are skinny at 170. Let's get there. Let's put 20 to 40 pounds of fat on your body is all you need. You go by that as a register. So if someone says, oh, I would be just too thin at this 365, I go, well, my job isn't to tell you where you're happy. My job is to tell you where you will be to be optimized with your health.
With your health. And that's the thing, is everything we're doing with functional medicine in this practice, and as Nan said, you can go to A4M and find functional medicine doctors
Right, in your state.
In your state, is for health and not for as much, getting into a certain size of clothes or something like that. So one thing that I struggle with, y'all, is my cortisol. And this here in this last testing, May of 2024, it nosedived. But as Nan and I were talking, from January 2024, from November of 2023 to really August of 2024, I went through hip replacement, back and forth to Colorado multiple times,
That's right.
An international trip, putting a house up for sale that we had been in for over 30 years, buying a new house, literally, physically moving most of the boxes and boxes for weeks and weeks and weeks. What else?
And then completely redid your house and made it perfect, and even had all the pictures hung, like when people see it. I looked at the pictures and I said, who hung these pictures so pretty? I did. So, I mean, you, as you do, and as I do, burn yourself out.
So I was burned out with the cortisol. So what I have been doing,
The fountain of healing.
yes, I have been, I added ashwagandha
Yeah.
to my supplement. I also have been getting more sleep.
Yes.
I have been stepping back and saying no.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, that's yeah, stepping back and saying no. And I've also added a couple of other supplements like berberine.
That helps with weight. And that helps with
and blood pressure.
Sure.
And, yeah, things like that. So,
and more happy things because you have a more peaceful life. You have to worry about the storms coming in your new location.
So I don't have the stress of hurricanes any longer. I mean, we worry about it. We worry about other people, but it's not like us having to prepare for hurricanes.
The fountain of healing, happy, laughter, things that can bring you joy. The attitude of gratitude, which we hear about so much, starting out with meditation and prayer every day, and instead of saying, oh my goodness, my cup is half empty, it's half full, and going through the attitudes of gratitude, and then all the positives. And I was thinking yesterday, I was going to put on our site, Dr. Norman's Myrtle Beach Diet, where do you start? And you just start by waking up and saying, I can do better today. I can do better. I can have more fun today. I'm going to find something to laugh about. I'm going to call my friends and share things. I'm not going to beat my head against a door that doesn't open. Things that we need to learn to do.
And those are very hard things. Very, very hard. And you have to take baby steps. And every day is a new day to start those baby steps. Right. And I think that you all can do it. It's not easy. It's a journey towards your longevity.
And the most important thing is when we go into a room now, we are probably the oldest.
We are the oldest.
We're the oldest. We go into, never ever use your age as an excuse. Well, we can't lose weight because I'm certainly no. I don't ever accept that.
The power of what you put on your plate is phenomenal.
Right.
What you put on your plate is so powerful. It is the best medicine out there. What you put on your plate should look like a rainbow, and it should be close to the earth.
And it should be in moderation.
In moderation.
Very small amounts. And most of us, let me tell you what your metabolic need is.
Okay.
You want to know how many calories she needs to stay this way? Her basal metabolic rate, BMR, is 1,269 calories.
Ain't no way I'm going to be eating 1,269 a day. I
That-
probably double that.
You do.
But I eat a lot of vegetables, lean meats. I have really cut back on carbs. Sometimes I
But
do,
you move all the
I
time.
move all the time.
And you're doing resistance training.
Yes,
you got more
yes,
muscle
yes,
here.
yes.
You burn calories
Yes.
in the muscle.
Yes.
If you sit on your butt on the sofa, you will have to eat 1,300 calories to keep from gaining
That's
weight.
right.
Sorry, that's the way it goes.
And that's the trade-off. If
Yeah.
you want to sit on the sofa and not do anything or do very little, then you can't have your cake and eat it too.
That's right.
You can't keep eating.
But the metabolic age, and if you have someone who has a body comp machine, absolutely, let
Yes.
them do it. And then if you don't know what it means, you can screenshot it and send it to me, and I'll say, hey, this is what that means. But you want to get your body fat around 30%. You want to have resistance training. What does that mean? Every night. I've got
Bands, balls, weights,
you
everything.
better
Yes,
believe it.
yes.
And what I find that really works well for me, at night I can watch the news or whatever, and I can do some of the little weight things and get on the recumbent bike, which I love because I can sit there and take a nap while my feet are moving. And I used to do a lot of water activity, which I have a really good video that's on our site doing amazing. I wish we had a saltwater hot pool right now because it is amazing. Now it's getting cooler and I can't. I'm really upset about that. But I'll get on the recumbent bike, which is not as much fun, and then I'll do the resistance, and then I'll go upstairs, and before bed, my husband's snoring, and I'm sitting there watching Turner Classics. I get out, I'm up to 10-pound weights, and I will use the weights for my muscle mass, and then I will do the simple, which I'll do a video soon, showing some of the activities you can do with your legs to strengthen the core, because I want the core nice and tight, and then I'll do some squats and get the little buns nice and tight. And I never ever use age is an excuse.
Mhm.
What I do is I try to look at the girls that are 40 and I go, I want to do that. You know, I want to be there.
Well, not only does this weight training and aerobics and movement help with that, but it just makes you feel so much better. You know, I have very few joint aches.
Correct.
I wake up with usually a pretty good amount of energy. My cup is full, but I go like a bat out of hell
Right.
all day until 9 p.m. My oldest son at one time said, he watched me like this, and he goes, Mom, don't you ever sit down?
No.
No.
You know what my mother used to say? Noni used to say, my Italian mother, I'm going to sit down and when I die. Right? No. You know, you can create energy in your body. I don't care how overweight you are or what you've had happen to you. Start today. Vegetables. Cut back on your amount of food you're eating. If you can sit in your chair and just move your arms, just, you know, simple things. I had back surgery 20 years ago, and I remember I was feeling sorry for myself, and I saw a guy doing a wheelchair race, and I thought, I'm complaining? Are you serious? When I'm looking at him with beautiful muscles
That's
and
right.
arms,
Yes.
and I thought, I was disgusted with myself. I thought, get off your ASS and do what you can. And I immediately started working out just like he did, you know. And then later when I luckily had the surgery to repair it, you know, work the upper body, work the lower body. You have to go to the gym. I'm having to do this at home right now. I could do everything at home.
And you know, I go to the Y just about every day.
And I used to teach at the Y, but I can't do that now.
I ride my bike, but I also have the bands and balls
Right.
and weights at home, and I'm just sitting there watching the news.
You go to Marshalls.
Marshalls
and
and
you put
TJ
them on
Maxx.
your chair.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
usually I keep something here.
Yeah.
And you just, and I've got mats right here
Yeah.
to sit on. And you just start working them in simple weights. If it hurts, you don't do it.
That's
If
right.
you have
Listen
too
to
much
your
weight,
body.
you do not have to sling it. You should be very comfortable where you feel the muscle. You should be able to work your muscle and you feel it working. And you're like, oh, that feels good. That feels good. You don't want to extend it. You want to bring it in tight. You want to do the activities that feel good. I can't do a lot of heavy overhead. I tend to get a headache. It must crimp my neck muscles or something. But I sure can go to this level without any problem to work on the upper shoulders. And the position of your body as you exercise, get pretty good posture is. And your back muscles you were showing me, and they were so beautiful. That's because you exercise with good posture like a ballerina. If you're sitting there slugging the weights and you're all humped over, you're walking like that, your muscles will grow like that. And I have a friend right now who has the dowager's hump, they call it right here, from sitting at the computer too much, and she's got the hump right here, and we're working to smooth that out. And she's on the floor, she's working it, and she's really working it to extend these muscles and to help get rid of that dowager's hump, which will eventually cause a lot of breathing issues in the humping of the back, right?
That's exactly right. And so the outtake here is that getting older doesn't mean that you have to slow down or feel like an old person. People can be old at 40.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
yes.
How many people you've been around at 40, 45, they go, I just can't keep up with you, right?
Lots.
Yeah, no.
How do you do it? You got so much energy.
Because you started early and you've kept it up and you know what you're doing and you have not given up with a white
It is not, it's work. It's everyday work. It's a job. And if you want to go into those golden years, 50 plus, and going up to 60, 70, 80, my pop still skis. He'll be 83. And last winter, he celebrated his 5 millionth vertical foot on the mountain in 10 years.
Goodness.
He had skied 5 million vertical feet on the mountain from 72 to 82.
Amazing.
Which is amazing.
Yes.
So, you know, guys, if you're not doing it now, we're not shaming you. But we want you to be healthier, and that's why we're sharing these things with you. And we're, hopefully giving you valuable information that you can now take and go, okay, I need a functional medicine doctor. I'm going to go to A4M. I know that just a CBC ain't going to get it for checking my blood work. I know that I need saliva testing. Maybe I need bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, which I still take.
And I need to check my vitamins.
And I check my vitamins and my supplements, and then I need to look at my plate every day, what I'm eating.
All I have to do is gain 5 pounds, and my cholesterol will go from 220 to 280. Now, what does that tell you?
Yes.
It's like the good Lord is saying, hey, Nan, if you quit eating, I'll keep you healthy. Now, that's not easy. But I thought, okay, I have tried cholesterol medicine. You will ache from head to toe. You have all kinds of deficiencies that come from that. And I interpret that as my body saying, no, this isn't working. You're taking a drug because you can't keep your jaws together, Dan. And that really upsets me. And I have to think, okay, I've got to restrict my eating. I'm a chronic overeater. I love to eat. I'm a little Italian girl. My body would like to weigh 50 pounds more and be very happy. So I have to be very careful about getting around excessive foods. We don't eat out a lot because when I do, I overeat. And I want to eat a lot of bread. I want all that pasta. And if we can eat small servings, but I have to eat big servings. And I have a problem with it.
Well,
and you and I have had big servings.
We've had big servings, and it's something that you just it's self-discipline.
Self-discipline.
And it's the trade-off is not sometimes worth it long term. So we hope that you have learned something. And
Absolutely.
I've got a thick file here, and I hope this file gets thicker and thicker. I hope you have to stay in business until I'm in my 80s and 90s.
You know what? I will know how to do it if we are in Asia. I will know how to do this. We will find it. I was walking through a little countryside of my mother's homeland. It was in Florence, Italy, and there was a little sign that said, hormones, bioidentical, oh sure.
Okay.
And remember, you can get a lot of these over the counter in other countries because they don't like big pharma. Over here, we're like, take the drugs. Have you ever been in your pharmacy and look at the drugs that people are taking? And have you ever taken a drug and said, this makes me feel great? I'm
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Except maybe taking our thyroid I have to take because it was not optimized.
Yeah.
But the others, when I take them, I took, like I said, the cholesterol medicine, and I ate from head to toe, and I thought, my body is going, what are you doing?
Well, that's the key, is that so many of these chronic health problems can be remediated,
Yes.
reversed with
Epigenetics. In other words, you were dealt this hand, our little Italian hands and your little
Croatian.
Croatian hands were right across the water from each other, the Adriatic. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to optimize it by finding out where I have a problem. We don't have a lot of diabetes in my family. We have a problem with alcoholism, so I don't drink. And then I have a problem with my weight. I have to be very restrictive in my eating. My cholesterol will go sky high. That worries me. I have to have restricted eating because of that and more of a vegan type diet, And I'd rather eat steak every night, but I see the pattern, and I don't want to deal with that in the next 5 years. So, it's just my trade-off.
That's right, the trade-off. And so I've got the cortisol. I don't have cholesterol problems, high blood pressure. I don't have, I've got the armor thyroid, because most everybody's thyroid after a certain age.
That's right. It's part of
needs
the
help.
diet. Hormones, and then you have your vitamins and minerals, your thyroid, and you and I were both osteopenia going through.
Oh, this is really this is yes.
Big deal. And with hormones, we're no longer osteopenia, and we did not go into.
We didn't take any medication.
We did our hormones.
And weight training,
absolutely.
yoga, things like that.
But you were told, oh, you can't reverse it. I was
Yes.
told you can't reverse it. Well, guess what? We reversed it. And estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, that's your bones as well.
And we'll talk more about those on another video. We hope you've enjoyed this, learned something, and you should be so lucky to have.
My sweet bestie.
Yeah, sweet bestie. Yeah. Okay, we'll be back.